Well, I think conservation's insufficient for this moment in time. We're already living in an impoverished world. We've done centuries of destruction. And so to conserve, say, the world of 2024, that's just not enough. And what I think the cutting edge of conservation is today and has been for a while is revival and is rewilding and is restoration and is essentially healing the world and remaking the world. But really, it's a conservation restoration agenda. Yeah, I think 19th and 20th century conservation was about drawing lines on a map and saying, thou shalt not pass. And I think 21st century conservation and restoration and rewilding is about coloring in those lines and is about filling in whatever's within those lines more vibrantly. We're not only thinking about, say, large intact wildernesses, which are important for things like carnivores, for bears and jaguars and mountain lions who do need a lot of space. And we also need to be coloring in the lines in cities and in suburbs and in rural areas. But for a lot of people, it's going to be the woodlot behind their house or the local seashore or the community garden or the kind of semi-pastoral park where they walk their dog. And that those intimate natures are the place where most of us sort of affix our heart to the world, and to put that front and center with people and to sort of really tend that little flame of love for the living world. A rewilding agenda or a revival agenda is also more exciting because it gives people opportunities to reshape the world using their minds and their hands and their hearts and their bodies. Yeah, how do we make institutional change? That's a hard one, obviously. I mostly lean towards the school of thought, I guess, that social movements and popular movements are the best vehicles for large-scale social change, that usually institutions catch up later. The law catches up last, right? You basically need these social movements that create new conditions that force institutions, force our elected representatives to change and then change the laws. It's very rare. It sometimes does happen that, you have elite change or top-down change. And I welcome that. If the powers that be suddenly have a sort of a conversion moment and recognize that our current path is, essentially a form of suicide, that's welcome. But it starts, first of all, with the art of the possible. So the problem is that it takes a long time, and we don't have a lot of time. And I think that's the core challenge that we're running into right now with the environmental crises and the planetary crises and the social crises, is that the clock is ticking, and the clock is ticking faster, and social change takes time. We're ticking to midnight on the true planetary limits. So we need to go fast to address the crisis. And ultimately, addressing the crisis means slowing down pretty much all of our systems of production and creation. I mean, a lot of these things are in contradiction, right? I do think it's about investing people's lives with meaning. And the idea of remaking the world has a lot of meaning in it. So how can we shift our systems so that people feel like their work has purpose and that their labor has purpose, their lives have purpose? So that's a big one. At Sierra, we're really committed to two sorts of storytelling. One is really the ancient archetype of the hero or the shero. Like, we're trying to profile the people who are doing the work right now in order that our readers see themselves in those people. What does change really look like at the community level? Again, with the hope that our readers see themselves in that, and it provides a little spark of inspiration. And the other thing we're doing is trying to tell stories in which the land and the waters, or sometimes the animals, are our heroes and sheroes, and that they become the protagonist of the story, so that we're bringing people back through our stories to remember, I guess, sort of the first principles of why we do this in the work, that we're fighting for a world worth saving. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.